Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 9 a.m. spot. We have a very exciting session today with Dani and Victoria, and we're going to have fun, okay? Because they're two very dynamic entrepreneurs, and I love these guys, these girls, and we're going to have a good time. So I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Bruce Singer, host of this event, the 9 a.m. spot, which presents usually half-hour webinars on really interesting entrepreneurs and dynamic individuals that really have a great story to share. I have a company called CFO Services by BizON Capital, which provides chief financial officers to companies on a contract basis, interim basis, a part-time basis. So I'm just giving myself a bit of a plug here, and we're going to go ahead and start. And I want first Victoria and Dani, tell us about your company, tell us about yourself, and tell us let's start. Tell us who you are first. Victoria, who are you?
Who are we is the question. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us at 9 a.m. I have my coffee. Excited to be here with Bruce and Dani. So who we are, Dani and I, we are the co-founders of CityMOGULS. It's a platform that celebrates, connects, and inspires entrepreneurs. And our biggest mission really is to just inspire the next generation of leaders to pursue entrepreneurship and give back while doing it. So that's really at the foundation of what we do and why we're doing it.
Wonderful. Dani?
Yeah, and hi everyone. Thanks again, Bruce, for having us, and we're so happy to be here. So Victoria and I, actually, our story kind of begins over 10 years ago when we met at the University of Toronto. We were both auditioning for the University of Toronto Varsity Blues dance team, which is very highly acclaimed now, not so much back then, but we made it very cool. And we met at an audition there. We both made the team. And the following 2.5 to 3 years, we were the co-captains of the team, and we were running events and we were running fundraisers and we were doing all these things to really enhance the dance team and make it something really unique and an actual, something a little bit more than it was, a little bit more competitive and professional. And we loved doing that. And when we were doing all these events through the dance team, we started our own charity event there to really bring together the arts community. And we just loved producing events. We thought, 50 people would show up, we'd raise a couple $100, and we had like 250 people out. We raised $5,000 for a Canadian charity. And so we said, okay, let's roll with this. We are event producers at our core. So that's kind of the spark that happened when we were there. And fast forward many years later, that kind of event almost really, that event that we started 10 years ago really evolved with us after our corporate lives. And we started CityMOGULS because we just wanted to celebrate amazing entrepreneurs and really, shed a light on the philanthropic entrepreneurs in the city who were doing amazing things. So yeah, that's a little bit about the story. I'm sure I could give you the long version, but we could be here for a long time.
That's great. That's good. Okay, so we're going to start inviting people into video, okay, and let people get on the screen, and I encourage everybody. So we're going to do that now. And while they're coming on, we'll invite them in. While they come on, we'll talk some more. So tell us about, so you started this company, CityMOGULS, and I just want to just share with the audience before COVID-19, because that's where things got tricky. Because a lot of face-to-face things are very tricky. I met you in an event just before COVID-19. That's when we became friends, right? So tell us, before COVID-19, what trajectory you on? Let's hear the story. What happened take us back, way back when, and bring us forward into that, and we'll go through the whole timeline of what exactly transpired.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take this one, Dan, if you want to fill in gaps. But I mean, pre-COVID, CityMOGULS was pretty much an events business. So everything that we were doing was event-based. We were connecting entrepreneurs. We had 3 main events: our signature event, the Mogul Awards, which celebrates entrepreneurs in a fashion show for charity. And we were also going to launch 2 big new events in 2020. This was like the year of our big events. So we were going to launch a summit in the spring and a retreat up in Algonquin Park for entrepreneurs in the fall. Of course, the minute COVID hit, Dani and I, it was like we were in mourning because we kind of had a reality check that all of these events, these big experiences we had planned for were not going to happen. So we were sad for about a week, and then we pulled up our boots and we realized we had a community that needed us and needed us to support them. So we put our heads together and came up with we made some quick decisions to create some programming to support our community throughout COVID.
Yeah, and prior to that, so initially we started with our one big event, which Victoria just talked about briefly, which is our fashion show. And that was really that event that we started at university. That was the one that we kind of morphed into the big signature event. And that's the top 20 entrepreneurs walk in a fashion show supporting Canadian brands for a philanthropic cause. So we were in a partnership with Kagan Toronto, who supports at-risk youth and homeless youth. And so proceeds of that event were always donated to our partner at Covenant House. And yeah, it was such a great event that really blew up. Like our last event in this past November, we brought out, which feels like a million years ago, Vic, doesn't it feel like so long ago? We brought out about over 600 people to that event, and it's just such an amazing event for people to attend because they're so inspired by these entrepreneurs, and so excited to get involved with Canadian fashion and networking. And it's such a spectacular event that obviously, like Vic said, we were a bit crushed at the beginning of COVID, but to go back a little bit, that's how we really started our brand. We started from an event, and then we grew a community from that one event.
Well, okay, so you're on this trajectory to go ahead, right? And Victoria mentioned programs. You were depressed for a week, okay? You snapped out of it. That's pretty good. I was depressed for a month. Okay. Okay. You snapped out of it, and you said you're developing programs. So give the audience, let's share where do we go from here? Okay, COVID hits, you reinvented, you moved on. Talk about your programs. Talk about the stuff you did.
Well, we officially retired as event planners right away. We're like, that's not happening anymore. So let's put it aside and think about new things.
We're going to hire people to do our events. So if any of you are event producers, once the restrictions are eased, we need you.
Yes, exactly. But that's really what we said to each other. We said, we're not doing events. We're not going to sit around and twiddle our thumbs and hope and just wish and hope and sit here and do those things, because the reality is that we're not going to be surrounded by people in large groups for a very long time. And we did build this community of entrepreneurs, like people who were attending our signature event, the Runway Show, the Mogul Awards, people who were attending our speaker series called Talk the Walk. So we had 2 of those speaker series happening a year. So we were...
Oh, some technical difficulty.
Oh, she's froze.
Businesses.
It's all right. She's back.
So you were saying, yeah, you froze. You froze for 10 seconds.
I was frozen? Oh no. Okay. Can you hear me now?
You're good.
Where did I leave off?
You're out of the event business. You got this big network. You got this big community. Obviously, you have these relationships, and you were talking about leveraging those, and going forward.
Exactly. Well, you just nailed it, Bruce. I mean, we could just interview you, but yes, that's exactly what happened. Can you guys still hear me? Am I okay?
Yeah, Dan, you might want to.
I'm gonna move. Victoria, why don't you take over?
Yeah.
You're moving forward, yeah.
Yeah. So sorry to go back and forth, guys. Technical difficulties, gotta love them. So we knew we had this community. We knew, especially during COVID, that we needed to come up with a unique way to keep our community connected. And we have this amazing tool called Zoom, which is all of our best friends now. So Dani and I put our heads together and we came up with a program that actually Bruce was a part of called Mogul Cruise. And we put together 4 to 6 entrepreneurs from all different industries, all different walks of life, with one of our moguls, so to speak, one of our expert entrepreneurs who kind of facilitated weekly sessions with those entrepreneurs throughout COVID. And we had no idea what we were doing. But what we really realized we were doing was creating a safe space for entrepreneurs to connect in a time where no one knew what was going on. No one had insight on what next steps would be for their business. So we were providing a safe space for entrepreneurs to talk about their businesses, how they're pivoting, get ideas from other entrepreneurs on how they could move through this pandemic. And, you know, in our first 2 months of launching that program, we had over 150 entrepreneurs participate. And the feedback was amazing. And that's actually become a full-blown program for us now, that we offer a new cohort every month for entrepreneurs to be a part of. So
yeah, so it's a 5-week, 6-session program, 6 jam-packed sessions with really incredible entrepreneurs who are kind of moderating, facilitating, mentoring each group. And we were actually supposed to launch this program as in-person events at the end of this year. And it's so funny because COVID hit and we said, why don't we just launch Mogul Cruise digitally? This is still bringing people together. It's an amazing way to network and build really genuine relationships with other people. So we started building the program right away, and it's amazing. I know Vic said this already, but it is amazing what you can do with technology. So we're very fortunate for that, but it's just such a great way to connect with people. Like all of these kinds of events, we are really connecting with a lot of different people.
It's fabulous. If I can say, I participated in the Mogul Cruise, and I tell you something, it was fabulous. First of all, I met some great people. It was fabulous. And look, I've been an entrepreneur for years, but I got ideas out of it. And I think it's even more than just entrepreneurs, it's actually business people. So it's beyond that, you know what I mean? And it's really, really, I thought you guys did a fabulous job, high quality. The leader, I call him the leader. He was great. And I encourage everybody to check it out because I guarantee you will get something out of that. You know what I mean? And I like the way they kind of hold your hand. Like it's really like, because people get lazy, right? And you kind of push everybody. Like, hey, do this. You constantly, hold people accountable, which is even better. It's not just it's showing up at a Zoom meeting. It's far beyond that. So I just wanted to, I thought that was really fantastic. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. It's like having your unofficial advisory board, because as entrepreneurs, we don't have, we're lucky if we have a mentor or two, but it's hard to, talk to your friends or peers about what you're doing with your business. So that's all we wanted, was people to have a safe space to feel like they could share and grow their businesses.
So you did this well. So let's take a step back. So what did you learn from this whole experience? What's the key learnings? Well, there's lots of, what did you learn? What would you do differently? And let's start sharing that with the audience. Like if they're in the same boat and they're sitting there struggling, like what are some key real learnings that come out of this for both of you?
One of them for me, and Vic and I are really in the same wavelength and same boat in this, is something that will sound really counterintuitive, but don't write a business plan. Destroy it, rip it up, because you're going to have to keep starting it again. And COVID has been like the instigator to say, here's a little nudge that what you're doing might not be working and you're going to have to change something. And that's going to happen without COVID anyway. Like markets are going to change, businesses are going to change the way we're doing business. Online's going to become huge. You need to start investing in digital and, educating yourself on how to use technology. And so I think businesses used to really have to write a 20-page business plan. And I just don't think that's necessary anymore, because it's such a fluid time. And I think being able to be on your feet and be on your toes and change something is the best thing.
You got to it's really taught people to really, the skill that's really being developed is think on your feet, big time. And that's wonderful. And Victoria?
I think one of the biggest things any person in general needs to learn through these crazy times is Dani and I were not afraid to ask for help. Like we asked everyone for advice. We asked everyone in our community, in our network, will you help us with this program? Like, what do you think we should do here? I think people often get so paralyzed with making decisions. They think that if they make a decision too quickly that, oh, like it, you know, it's not going to work out. So Dani and I just, our biggest thing that really helped us get through COVID and have us and still have a business to run is just acting fast and really leaning on our community and asking for help. And not being afraid to reach out to, you know, the Michelle Romanos of the world, the big dragons, and being like,
you got the who's
we need your help.
There are just even people.
Yesterday, I had Mr. Joe Fresh. Joe is on it. I've attended the Michelle Romano. You got the dragons. It's not just you got the who's who.
Yeah, Dani and I are just, you know, two dancers in entrepreneur bodies. We're not anything special. We just aren't afraid to ask. And I think that's one of the biggest things is just asking.
And even with that said, like, it's just also reaching out to the people in your community who aren't even at the, just, you know, asking people to help out in that way has been so vital. Like just some people on our board or some people in our network, just, you know, putting it out there and telling people what you're doing, and also not being afraid to say, this isn't working, let's scrap it and try something new, right? Like, I think people are so concerned, like, oh, I just promoted something, this big campaign, and I don't know if it's working. Like, no one cares. Scrap it and try something new. Like, no one, I think people think other people care so much about what they're doing, but you just have to kind of go with the flow.
I have one question, a couple of things I just want to talk. I encourage the participants, please put in your video. It's great. You can participate, become part of the panel.
Yeah, we only got Praveen here on our...
only Praveen.
Feel free to ask a question. I mean, let's have some fun here, people. Let's go.
We're always down for dance parties. You can turn this into a dance party.
It's okay. If you have a bad hair day, it's okay. I got a bad hair day every day. Right?
That's why Bruce is on this black...
Your lipsticks and all, whatever. You know, it's cool. You know? Get on. Okay, so I have a question here that came up. I want to ask you a question. A gentleman asked a question, Abdul. Is there a limitation on the size of entrepreneurial organization that can become a member with your organization? I guess he's asking, who qualifies?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the nicest part about our community is that we serve kind of like what you said, Bruce. It's not just entrepreneurs, but it's intrapreneurs. So if you're a leader within your organization and you have an entrepreneurial spirit, it's business owners, it's founders. It really serves a wide range of people, especially because, you know, a lot of people wear, especially at smaller companies, people wear a lot of different hats. So they are very entrepreneurial and they need some of the educational tools and resources that we provide with our community. So it really is a wide range. And I think the people that get the most out of our community are those, you know, early stage, mid-stage entrepreneurs. So that's like anywhere from 0 to 15 years. Someone who's changing their business completely now and just needs community and support. Yeah, I think that, did I sum it up, Vic? Okay.
That sums it up. You talked about Praveen. You wanted to ask something? You're unmuted.
Yeah, Dani, I just wanted to say that if in any forthcoming program you need any help, so please connect with me. I have sent the message also.
Yes, I saw. Thank you.
Yeah. So I would like to join your team and, you know, just help the community. And Bruce, what I learned from, you know, COVID is that, you know, life is so uncertain. You cannot make any long-term plans. You cannot go for vacation, at least for a year now. And yesterday, when I heard the news that this virus is airborne, it really, I got very scared. You know, like if it's airborne, then life is really, you don't know. Like you must have read Brazil president, you know, he also got COVID yesterday. And this guy was just roaming before, like on the road. Oh, he said it's a small virus, nothing can happen. So it's a question of life or death. So, you know, like we have to be very, very careful. And, you know, like the bottom line is wear mask all the time, you know, like, and wash your hands. Yeah, these are the two things which I learned, you know. So don't leave your mask, your face unprotected all the time, you know, like, yeah. So like nobody thought that world will change so dramatically in a short period of time within 4 or 5 months. And, you know, like, everybody's scratching their head, even scientists, they are still not able to get any cure of no, you know, vaccination for this virus.
I just want to get back to Danny and Victoria for a moment. Thank you, Praveen.
Yeah. Thank you, Bruce. Yeah.
You mentioned you had some influence from your mentors and other people. Who stood? Well, you can give a name or not give a name. Who stood out? What's one? What's the? Sometimes there's one event, or one person, one piece of advice. So if you had that one piece of advice and we wanted to reshare that with an entrepreneur, what would be that one piece of advice, Danny and Victoria, that you got from one entrepreneur? And it wasn't Bruce Singer. It's okay.
Bruce, you've been doing amazing things, so we're always inspired by you. But
Yeah.
we did have
an
amazing conversation with one of our biggest mentors, and he did a webinar with us back in March because he went through 2 financial crises and came out of it really strong. He's a tech entrepreneur. His name's Michael Hyatt, and we are big fans of his, and he's just been an incredible mentor to us. And the piece of advice that he gave us was get into the product world. And we were like, it was a light bulb moment for us. And Vic and I were like, this is what we've been wanting to do for so long, and we need to offer products. We're in a consumer market right now. People want stuff and it's important. And so we have been brainstorming. We have a project on the side going that we can't talk about just yet, but he really planted a seed, and we're very, very excited. So maybe in a few months, if we do this again, we can talk a little bit more about that.
So it's actually a product, like a physical product versus a service.
Well, I was just going to say that whole light bulb moment with Michael really helped Danny and I take a step back and just look at the sustainability of our business. So we really put a lot of thought and energy in, because we're service-based business, how we can convert our services into packaged products that people can easily get from us. So we've managed to do that with Cruise, and a week and a half ago, we launched our membership program, which has been amazing. We've already filled all of our founding member spots. So it's been an interesting journey going from that mindset of being like, everything's dependent on the work that Dani and I do, to converting CityMOGULS to have actual products, which I know a lot of service-based entrepreneurs really struggle with.
They struggle. I just want to mention, by the way, there was a technical difficulty on the people logging into some of the videos. I believe that has been fixed. So please feel free on the participants to try to go turn on your video and log in again. There was, I'm watching the chat, and there was a technical matter, maybe with one person, I'm not sure, affected everybody. But again, I like to encourage people to, we like to see your faces. So you know what I mean? So that'd be great. One person asked the question, she says, like you mentioned before about having a plan, thinking on your feet, which, by the way, I tend to agree with. But maybe something simple, just the thought that something simple came up. What do you think of that? Just a simple plan.
Yeah, I just actually responded to Sharon because I totally agree. I don't think you should just blindly go into your business and say, I'm starting a business and this is what it is, and it's one sentence and that's it. Not at all what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you definitely, your business plan has to be very malleable. And I don't think it has to be that 30, 40 page document how it used to be. I think you can build a business plan in a day now if you have a very clear idea and you have clear messaging and you clearly understand what you want to offer. You can do that on a page or 2 pages and call it a day, because it's going to have to be malleable. That's kind of more where I was going with that. But yeah, I totally get that. Okay.
And getting back, let's talk about you have very unique webinars. And the Michelle Romano one was she's right on par with you as dynamic. I mean, she invented what she's told.
Oh, she's far beyond us, but thank you.
Far beyond it. So how the heck do you get those people?
Like, a lot of our
like, these people are very busy, and so that's 2 questions. How do you, or you're just persistent? How do you get them? And talk about that event. What came out of that? What was the key learning from an event like that? There was tons of learnings, but how do you?
Yeah. I mean, Dani and I are lucky with our Mogul Award show that we've done over the past 4 years. We've featured over 100 entrepreneurs who we call our moguls. We've featured over 100 entrepreneurs and given them a huge opportunity and shed light on their businesses. So we've kind of been like storing up a lot of asks for them to do something in exchange for that offer, because we get a lot of press out to our events. So it is, you know, that exchange of services, but it's also, Dani and I are very, and we're happy to dive into this, but we're very persistent, and we have a lot of techniques and tips that we use between Dani and I. We both have different strengths on how we maintain our relationships and how we stay connected with those people and supporting them and following them. And it's a lot of work to maintain. I'm preaching to the choir, Bruce. I know you know this, but it's a lot of work to maintain relationships, but it's really, I think it makes our asks easier, I guess.
But you mentioned something that I think anybody, and let's use the word entrepreneur in a different fashion. Maybe business people, you know, any this day and age, persistence and determination. Put everything aside, you got to have it, and rejection is part of life. You know what I mean? You got to take the rejection, right? You got to.
100%.
I'm sure
Yeah, like we don't say it out loud, but we get like, you know, 10 to 15 no's for every one yes, but we don't focus on the no's. We're like, we got one.
Yeah, sometimes it's 100 no. Sometimes it's 100 no's for the one yes, and we celebrate that one yes. Like, that's a big win for us. But like Victoria said, it's all relationship building and networking. And I think people, and this is just going to sound really blunt, but I think it's really easy to hide behind your computer and send emails, or just, you know, do some digging and some research, instead of like going out there and calling someone up or sending them a private message. Or, I mean, obviously you can't go out and meet someone right now, but the reason why we met Joe in the first place, who we had on our Powerhouse webinar yesterday, is because Victoria pushed me, and because we saw him at a cafe, and she said, go say hi, because I had a sort of relationship with him. And I went and said hi, and I just introduced myself, and eventually we'll get back to that place. But even right now, it's about kind of building those genuine connections over time. It doesn't happen overnight. These connections that we've been building, people who have become really big champions of City Moguls, it's been 5 years in the making. It's like following up and calling people and sending them something and being like, I support you and I hope you will support me later. And it's just coming from a genuine place because we respect those people. And those relationships over time will continue to build if you work on them.
Well, so let me ask you a couple of questions here. You mentioned networking. You do have networking events. I guess the overall question is, how do people plug in? What's the best way to plug in? Because you mentioned networking. Is there a networking coming up? You always have stuff going on. That how can really help the people on this event really plug in and get involved in networking? How can they let's, you know, like, what's for step one? How do they get hold of you? What's the next step?
I guess step one would be subscribe. We send a bi-weekly newsletter that focuses on different topics and shares updates with our community. This past week, we've been talking about how to channel your creativity. So that's been our focus for this newsletter. So definitely subscribe. This Thursday, we have a networking happy hour.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
At 5.
Oh,
Tomorrow.
Are we invited?
You're all invited.
You're all invited.
So how do we share that? You want to write something?
Sure. I will put it in the
Where do they go?
I'll put it in the chat while Victoria is talking about what our monthly networking is.
Yeah, so we do monthly networking. It's a speed dating experience. So you literally just have to sit at your computer, and we make sure you get connected with 15 to 20 new entrepreneurs in an hour. So it's super fun. You'll get a taste of our community. Dani and I have really bad jokes that we like to do the whole time, and we love wine, so we encourage alcohol consumption at 5 o'clock.
So if they even look at LinkedIn, City Moguls, your company page, will they find all this stuff there?
Yes, and we wanted to like I said earlier, we launched our membership program about a week and a half ago, and the response has been amazing, and we wanted to extend a special rate to your community, Bruce. So we'll be sending you an email after with more information on that. But that really, it's the value of our membership is about $1,000, and you get a lot. You only have to pay about I think it would work out to be $299 for everything that we kind of offer in one nice package.
And from a personal participant, it's peanuts when you compare the value and the connections. It's peanuts. You know what I mean?
It really is, yeah.
No, but I'm just saying is I saw the value, and I'm a real, I can be real cheapskate. So, okay, like I don't participate in stuff unless I see it. I can be real cheapskate. So I'm an accountant. What do you want to tell you? Okay. So we're coming to an end here. Just want, if anybody wants to ask questions, anything else, Dani, Victoria, that you think we didn't cover that you think we should share with the audience, or share things that you think is something we didn't cover off today?
Yeah, I saw 2 questions. I just wanted to answer. Someone asked, when do you plan to restart the Mogul Awards in person?
Yeah.
Dani and I are hoping that we will be able to do it spring 2021. We've accepted the fact that it's not going to happen this year, and a big part of the magic is being able to bring everyone together. So we were humming and hawing about doing a digital version of it, maybe with no audience, but it doesn't feel right for us. So we're pausing until the spring.
Okay, of 2021. All right. And one other last question here. Hi Melanie, what were the obstacles, hello, what were the obstacles you faced during your period of adapting? What was a big obstacle you had? Like, is there one obstacle that really, really hit you head on, that you really challenged you? You know what I mean?
I feel like for me, it was like daily small challenges on the regular, like every day presented a new challenge. And whether it was just something wasn't working on our website, or we couldn't figure something out when we were starting up with Zoom, just little things every day, just kind of like grinding and figuring things out. It was on a daily, and just trying to manage our time. And Victoria knows this very well. I'm not good at working from home. I don't know if anyone else is not good at working from home. Like, I need to remove myself usually and go into an office or a coffee shop or something. So this was a big, big game changer. I had to just change some of my daily habits to make sure that I was productive. And Bruce, you know this, we were talking about productivity in Mogul Cruise. That's one of our sessions. And I felt like I was a little bit having imposter syndrome, because I wasn't even thinking about like my own habits. I was just telling other people what to do. So I really started implementing that. That was a really big thing for me.
Interesting. And okay. And by the way, I think if everybody I would love to continue, but I'm encouraging, we have lots of participants. Go on video, ask questions. Katie, hi, how are you?
We want to see all your faces.
You want to talk to them? Maybe you can put your, Tina, please put off your videos, put off your audios, turn off your audios.
Abdul asked a question here. He said, how can one be a contributor in assisting entrepreneurs on a pro bono basis?
Yep.
Abdul, like, we need to talk, because we have like 50 people who would want your support. So if that's what you offer, our community, we is always looking for support and help with things. And it's a big mandate of what we do, is to have a give back component. We also have some, I won't release it yet, but if you subscribe to our newsletter, you'll find out soon. We have our charity partner is Covenant House Toronto, and we're working on some exciting things in the mentorship space with them and their youth that we're going to be launching in the fall with our community. So Dani and I are really, really jazzed about that.
That's fabulous. Anyways, we're going to end here in a moment. So just one last thing. I encourage everybody, go to the Mogul Cruise site. Okay. Sign up for the newsletter. That's the next step, right, for everybody?
Yeah, you can either, I sent 2 links here, so you can either check out the networking event tomorrow at 5 p.m. and join us, and we can actually chat a little bit more. Or you can go to the membership page and look a little bit more into what our membership program is all about. It's a full year, so if you signed up tomorrow, it's until July 8th or 9th, 2021. So lots of exciting things happening throughout the year.
Anyways, we're coming to an end. Thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. That was great. Thank you, everybody. Katie, nice seeing you.
Nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you, Bruce. It was great meeting Dani and Victoria as well.
Nice to meet you, Katie.
Work. Yeah.
Thank you. And
This is the
thanks,
start.
Bruce, for having us.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
rock.
And
Thank you.
rock.
for-
Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow at the networking, and there'll be future stuff. So, anyways, have a wonderful day, everybody. Wonderful day.
Oh, Magna, thanks for coming,
Have a
Magna.
good day.
Yeah, oh, you see people, you know.
Aw,
Okay, bye, everybody.
people are the best.